Hello everyone. So this is going to be the wrap up for the Rich Dad series.
Finally!
Yeah, it was an interesting book, but at the same time,
Repetitive.
yeah, repetitive. But we'll discuss that a little bit later. We wanted to get to the last chapter that spoke about like new concepts or just concepts in general. And that was chapter 8, which is saying get started. So it's like a motivational thing to get you moving into the direction of, becoming more financially educated. So the
This is the Ellie
and Lee show.
Show.
First quote was, without a strong reason or purpose, anything in life is hard.
Yeah, for sure. So it's kind of obvious. So, for example, I had no strong reason to live, and life is hard. And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't see the reason why you need to do it, it's really hard to sacrifice your time or like
Oh, yeah,
things
yeah.
like that. So, yeah, it's kind of self explanatory.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing. A lot of these chapters are self-explanatory, but I think the story itself is interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I think most people have had this where if you're working a job that you're just doing it for the money and it's not something that you're really interested in, I'm sure we've all had those kinds of jobs.
Yeah.
You feel it really hard to get motivated to do anything extra that's required.
That's true. And lots of people are just doing that job because and then feel bad about it when they are not doing well. But it's kind of expected because you're not enjoying it and
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
just doing it for money. So what do you expect?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think ultimately we all want to do well, but if it's something that you don't believe in, then it's a lot more difficult. But at the same time, in life, I believe that everyone has to go through some kind of grind.
Yeah.
I don't think that things are going to be as easy as maybe you see it on YouTube or in movies and things like that.
I believe some life would be easier than mine.
Yeah, but that's a perception thing.
Okay. Okay. People who lack internal fortitude often become victims of those who have self discipline.
So, yeah, I think again, this one's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But if you look into the other series that we've been doing, which is the personality series, we talk about conscientiousness.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things we learned about it is that it's a good indicator of success. And then people that are conscientious are those that often have pretty good self-discipline. So
Yeah.
it's kind of the person that if they start something, then they finish it.
So why become victim of those who have self-discipline?
So, yeah, I think again, it's maybe an exaggerated way of saying it. But the thing is, if you, the person that doesn't have the self-discipline, who's most likely to be your boss?
Yeah, conscientious people.
Yeah, exactly. So if you don't have self-discipline and if you aren't strong within your own convictions, like of something that you want to do, then those that are will often take up that position.
Yeah, but it's not
Yeah.
a victim.
Yeah, I said it's exaggerated.
Okay.
Yeah, and then for the last quote, the easy road often becomes hard and the hard road often becomes easy. So I actually like this quote. And the best example I can give is the physical example. So if you take the easy road of maybe not working out every day and just relaxing,
Okay.
then obviously as you age, it becomes harder for you to
Yeah.
maintain your
So
health.
true.
So then when it was easy, when you were younger and you were more flexible and you had the energy, that was the time when you could have maybe taken up a sport or, gotten into something where you were regularly active. But then when you're coming from a position now where you have maybe some health problems or you quite overweight, then to get to a state that's normal is a lot harder.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the second part of it, just from a financial point of view, like the hard road would be a situation where maybe you don't spend money on, nice things for 5, 10, 15 years, and you just whatever you earn, you invest and you live very frugally and stuff like that. Then once you financially set up, when you have a decent base to start with, then maybe from your 40s and so on, life will be a lot easier because you don't have to deal with any, financial struggle.
Yeah. So
If you're enjoying this video so far,
please like and subscribe. For most people, this quote would be true, and Like there would be lots of events which kind of against to this saying, but there was certainly at least one event that shows that the easy road become hard and vice versa. So the impression of this statement at first was like, so you decided to take a hard road, which is becoming a doctor, and it can be easy later, but certainly it doesn't mean in that way. So it kind of goes with the statement, hard work pays off, right?
Yeah. So I think the thing that it obviously doesn't account for is, well, just that life, there can always be accidents. But then this kind of reminds me of a podcast I watched with Joe Rogan and Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
So I think you remember me telling you that he had an accident, and then what he found out was that because at that point when he had the accident, he was in a very good physical condition, saved him from being in a really, really bad situation. Like there was a chance he could have been paralyzed, but because his core muscles were really strong, it kind of shielded him from that. So I think in that situation, it's kind of like if you do the things that are maybe difficult but are necessary, it's like buying yourself insurance for the future. Okay, so now that we are done with the chapters that we wanted to cover, we want to know if you've read this book, what are your thoughts on it? Please let us know in the comments down below. Yeah. And so my overall impression was that in the beginning it was an interesting story. Like it kind of gave me motivation to, do better in my financial education. But I think continuing to read it, to me, it kind of became repetitive. Like a lot of concepts were the same sort of thing that were said in previous chapters, or like a slight variation.
Okay, so my impression on this book, as Liz said, it was really interesting in the beginning, especially when the author talked about his experience when he was young in Hawaii. And that's actually the most interesting part for me. Like as the story progresses, it does give some interesting views, such as the house isn't an asset, but like not everything I could agree on. So it was kind of, I need some time to process.
I think also what we gathered is that it's a bit too vague. Like the author talks about the concepts of the book, but to me there's not enough actionable steps that I can really say it's something you can implement. You still have to do a lot of searching yourself for you to understand, how to improve things.
So I would say this book is financial motivation book.
Yeah, so let us know what you think of the book, and if you have any suggestions for another book you'd like us to read, let us know down in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps us out.
Thanks for watching. See you.